Let's hear. Listen, today what we're going to talk about is what is that ROI, return on investment, for your interactive story or scenario. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because this is sexy and comfortable for all of us, right? And it's funny because our world, the L&D world, always talks about what's the ROI of this, right? And I want you to think about it a little bit differently. I want you to think about it in terms of not immediate consequences, because that's short-term thinking, but second and third order consequences. So let me talk to you about, first, let me give you a sweet example. So you're going to love it. By the way, if you're joining me on Friday, I love you. You are awesome. Seriously, dedicated, committed to crafting, honing your craft. This is awesome. And you know that my passion is stories, interactive story scenarios, and this is what I'll talk about till I die, right? So what happened is we had a session where one of our students who worked with me last March, she launched her interactive story. It's awesome. It's working. She's gotten feedback. And one of the questions was, hey, how do you measure the ROI of this thing, of this amazing interactive experience? And I thought about that and I was like, man, is that the right question? Is that the question we should be asking? Or how do we answer this question? Because everybody has this question. What's the ROI, right? So here's the awesome example. So The Rock gave, and it was so cool. So The Rock gave a speech, motivational speech to the Lakers. So this is the headline for this video was, this video of The Rock giving a motivational speech to the Lakers will make you want to run through a brick wall, right? Super cool. Dwayne Johnson, better known as The Rock, stopped by the UCLA Health Training Center to talk to the Lakers about how to stay motivated amidst success. Now, I doubt that he did that for free. The Lakers probably arranged that. The person running the Lakers arranged that, right? So you get The Rock, right? The Rock giving a motivational speech to the Lakers. Now somebody could have said, okay, what's the ROI of The Rock? Right? Like, I don't know. Like, it's undeniably, it's awesome. Undeniably, they're going to be inspired. But is there an ROI on it, right? What's the ROI? That's, and you think about it, and then we go to, what is the value of putting all of the learning that we have in context? What is the value of getting people excited and motivated about the learning journey? What is the value? What is the return on investment, right? Of people actually opening up the LMS and going in there and actually discovering for the first time that there's all these resources there to help them. What's the value of that? What's the return on investment? Now, I dare say there is a return on investment, but it's not going to be in a hard line like we're going to plug these humans through the matrix into this interactive scenario, and then in 24 hours, they're going to be popping out widgets faster than they have before. It doesn't work like that, right? We're not machines. We're not, doesn't work like that. But for some reason, we want it to work like that, and then we ask questions like, how come it's not working like that? But we only do that in our industry. We don't go, the Lakers aren't be like, well, this increased my scoring by this much. It's insane, right? Like, think about it. It's insane. The Rock, ROI of The Rock, right? But one of the things that you can say is that The Rock is a catalyst, right? He's a catalyst for other actions. He's going to pump somebody up to push through longer, to practice maybe when they don't feel like practicing. Run through a brick wall, like they said, when they don't feel like running through a brick wall. Show up when they didn't want to show up. And so what I want you to think about is something like an interactive story or a scenario that gives people ahas, that helps sell that person on the journey. Like, look at this character in this story achieved this awesome thing. That could be me, right? What the value of that, them pushing through a little longer, then them recognizing their own potential, them seeing their own gaps or ahas. That, my friends, is going to be not immediately evident to you, but 3-6 months from now, when things are kind of having this network effect of compounding, like you're basically having a catalyst that sparks something, and other things kind of have to be in the place to make it go, because there's lots of, like, you're trying to influence an individual. You're trying to say this individual is going to be someplace else over there. You have to stack all these little elements in place to get them there, right? It's not going to be this single thing. It's going to be lots of things, right? But it's a catalyst. And so if you have the right things stacked, performance support, mentors, you think about that entire journey of that person, you can say, what are the things, what are the little bricks and steps I can have in place so that when they get stuck, they'll be able to get some support that they need. So it's not going to be a single ROI of a single thing. You're going to see changes over time, and all you're doing is you're stacking the odds in your favor that this person is going to get there. Or out of 20 people, 20 of them, or two of them are really going to hit that mark, because that's how it usually works, right? So that's what I want you to think about, is that when you ask the ROI question, it's going to be second and third order consequences, which means that it's not going to be the thing you immediately see. It's going to be things that are going to happen as a result of something as a second order consequence, as in it will happen as a result of the other things happening, right? It's kind of like, if I quit sugar, right? There's a sugar-free weekend challenge this weekend. Hope you take it up. So sugar-free weekend challenge, right? The first order consequences of that might be that I get a super terrible sugar withdrawal headache, right? First order consequences. And that's why most people don't quit sugar, right? Because the first order consequences to them are very immediate and very painful. What's the second order consequence of that, though? The second order consequence is something a little longer, is that my cravings for sugar, let's say they rebalance over the weekend, and I'm actually able to think more clearly. And so on Monday, the second order consequences, when I go back to work, I'm less anxious. Trust me, it actually works. Third order consequences, I continue that for a month or two, and I lose a little bit of weight, right? You don't see that on day one. On day one, you get sugar withdrawal headaches or you get cranky, right? So what I want you to think about is second, third order consequences. What are they? We got everybody motivated. We got everybody inspired. What's going to happen, right? What's going to happen? Now, it's kind of cool because, the reason I think that a lot of us struggle with impact, right? Because we all want to do things that mean things to people. We all want to craft learning experiences that actually impact somebody. Somebody out there says that actually moved me, touched me to action. I got value out of that. And I think that a lot of times what happens is we mess this up because we are measuring something so immediately that, we don't see immediate impact, and we say, that wasn't worth it. That wasn't good enough, right? Or we're looking for this one silver bullet that's going to have this epic fix. No, it's stacking things, right? It's stacking things. But also, I think one of the things that happens is after you've been doing this for a while, you get pretty good at your craft, you realize that don't matter how sexy you make whatever you're putting out there, if after a while you're like, the novelty's worn off, I actually want to do things that have impact. And there is definitely a way to do that, right? There's definitely a way to get people from a state of complete ignorance, and we call it unconscious incompetence, right? A place where they don't care, they don't see that their actions have impact on how they're living today. Imagine if you can wake them up and be like, hey, you just through the computer, you're giving them shaking. Hey, you have power. You can have some influence here, right? So imagine being that person who is able to do that for others. People who are able to now see the world a little bit differently, feel like they have some agency, right? That's what interactive storytelling is about. So if you're feeling like you're the person in your own organization, in a solo freelancer, somebody who is really trying to now make a change, right? Make a change in the experiences that you're creating. And not only, like, it's half selfish, right? I mean, half of it is, you know, people are like, I want to impact learners, I want people to be happy. Yeah, but also it's because you want to feel good, right? You want to feel proud, right? You're not just doing it for other people. It's kind of a win-win. You're doing it for other people, but you want to do it because you want to be proud, because you want to, you know, because you want to be proud, right? You want to feel like the stuff you do has meaning. It's for a purpose. And it's hard because we're pushing pixels, right? So that's hard. A lot of us are removed from the end user. We don't ever see anybody jump onto the computer and go just what they look like when they're engrossed in our learning experience, right? We don't get that sexy, you know, immediate feedback. So how do you get that, right? You got to craft stuff that means something. You got to craft stuff that touches people emotionally, moves them from a place of, you know, like I said, unconscious incompetence to, hey, there's possibility out there. If that sounds like you, I would love to talk to you, because we run a community of interactive storytellers. These aren't people who are like, you know, looking for the next buttons, who are looking for some sort of a fix. They're looking to craft meaningful experiences, and they realize it takes work. So if you're not afraid of work, and you're looking for that meaning and that impact, I have awesomeness for you. All right, so we should talk. I'm going to put a link to book a call with me, and I'd love to talk about what your vision is. A lot of times people are just, and it's funny, because I'm talking to people every day. Some of them will, and if this is you, this used to be me as well. Tell me if this is you. You're no longer finding satisfaction in your job, in your work. You feel like a cog, like a hamster on a wheel. So what you do, and I did this, what you do is you find other places to get meaning out of, get impact out of. And so you start taking up projects that are not even work related, or you find new software that you got to learn for some reason that doesn't actually move your craft forward. It's just a distraction. And guys, the projects that I took up that were just completely just for me trying to fill that void of meaning, of impact. And I'd be like, maybe it's this new thing. Maybe it's this new thing that's going to help me fill that void. And at the end of the day, if you can step back and say, you know what, I could take this further. I could have real impact here, but I need like a perspective shift, or just a couple of degrees of a lens shift to see something over here. I want to talk to you, because I think you really get a lot of value out of the interactive community that we have. And I'm not going to say that you will. That's why I have to talk to people, because we are making sure that the people that are in there are you know, the ones that get it, the ones that are looking for that meaning. Because I found that the people who are doing it for themselves, like they're finding that meaning for themselves. It's no boss telling them, listen, we got to have more impact. No, they're in there. They know they want it. Those are the best people to work with, because they're self-driven, right? They got skin in the game. It's for them. That's why I want to talk to you. So if this is for you, if this resonates with you, you're not looking to be like, my boss told me I got to find something that'll work this next time. But you're going, I'm chomping at the bit to have impact. And I just need another way to present emotionally connecting experiences to people, to actually meaningfully engage them, and maybe have them for like 5 minutes, not look at YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that other stuff. Actually contextually be like, this is for me. If you can do that, if you're looking to do that, then we got to talk. So hopefully you got value out of this conversation about ROI, because ROI is so weird, right? It's such small scope, right? We got to think, when we're thinking return on investment, we got to think a year. And then you got to think, what are all the things that are in place to make have this person help them have that momentum and keep them in that momentum of learning, becoming the person we want them to become, right? What is that? So, yeah, those are Friday thoughts, all right? If you have any questions, post them underneath the videos. I always check them. I always reply if I find that I can. And if I don't reply, it's usually because I'm addressing it in my next live. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. I hope you take some time for yourself. Maybe you'll join everybody on that sugar-free challenge that's going on. But otherwise, have a wonderful rest of the day and take care, friends. Bye.